Just a week before Christmas, in the quiet town of Willowbrook, Maine, a heartbreaking act of cruelty unfolded under a relentless blizzard. A tiny puppy, barely bigger than a man's hand, was abandoned in the freezing snow, tied to a metal stake with a frayed leash. As temperatures plunged, what happened next would ripple through the town, restoring faith in humanity and proving that one act of kindness can change everything. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our latest stories, and let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We love connecting with our audience worldwide. Willowbrook was the picture of holiday magic that December. Thick snow blanketed every rooftop. Twinkling Christmas lights danced in windows. The crisp air carried the scent of fresh pine wreaths and wood smoke from chimneys. But inside the cozy two-story home on Maple Street, 77-year-old Walter Hayes felt none of that cheer. A retired engineer, Walter had shared this house with his wife Evelyn for over 50 years. Now 69, Evelyn still kept everything immaculate, but their grown children lived far away. The holidays brought more loneliness than joy. Quiet evenings by the fire, occasional phone calls, and a hollow ache for the lively days long gone. That morning the snow came down harder than forecasted, turning roads into treacherous ice and emptying the streets. Delivery drivers battled the storm to finish routes. One of them, young Jason Miller, crunched through drifts in his heavy boots, hurrying to his last stop near the Hayes home. As he passed their yard, something caught his eye that stopped him cold. There, just feet from the house, a small puppy trembled violently in the snow. Its fur was crusted with ice, legs buckling under the cold, tied helplessly to a stake. The little thing looked up with desperate eyes, letting out weak whines. Jason's heart shattered. He wanted to rush over, untie it, wrap it in his jacket, but strict company rules echoed in his mind. No interfering with private property. With guilt burning in his chest, he drove away, glancing back until the puppy vanished in the swirling flakes. Even police on patrol had spotted the pup earlier, but they assumed animal control would handle it soon. After all, it was just a dog. Someone would come, right? As dusk fell and the snow glowed pink under the setting sun, the puppy's cries grew frantic, sharp, piercing yelps cutting through the wind. The merciless cold clawed deeper. Its tiny body convulsed in shivers, breath coming in shallow puffs. That evening, Walter sat by the living room window, nursing hot cocoa, watching snow pile higher. Evelyn read quietly nearby, glasses perched on her nose. They'd tuned out faint noises from outside, accustomed to the silence of their empty nest. Then a soft whimper broke through, followed by a desperate, heart-wrenching yelp. Walter's ears perked. He peered out and froze. In the dim light, he saw the small shape struggling against the stake. His heart slammed in his chest. Arthritis screamed in his joints, but he didn't hesitate. Grabbing his thick coat, he shuffled into the storm. Wind whipped his face, snow stung his eyes and clung to his thinning hair. Kneeling in the drift, Walter met the puppy's barely open eyes. The little body was curled tight, limbs shaking uncontrollably. His stiff fingers fumbled the frozen knot, pain shooting through his hands. Evelyn burst to the door, scarf clutched tight. "Walter, you'll freeze, be careful." But over the frantic whines he barely heard. Finally, the leash gave way. Walter scooped the icy, limp puppy into his arms, wrapping it in his coat, rubbing gently to coax warmth back. The pup felt lifeless, breath faint, eyes glassy. Evelyn rushed out with lukewarm water, but it couldn't drink. Terror gripped Walter. This fragile life was slipping away. "We have to get him to the vet now," he whispered, voice shaking. Evelyn nodded, eyes wide. "Let's go." The drive was a nightmare. Walter gripped the wheel with aged hands, the puppy blanketed on his lap. Every weak whimper made him flinch. How could anyone abandon something so innocent in this brutality? Snow swirled like ghosts against the windshield. Visibility near zero, but they pressed on. At Willowbrook Animal Clinic, Dr. Linda Carter rushed them in. Her face darkened as she examined the pup. Severe hypothermia, frostbite on paws and tail, raw wounds from the leash. "Tied outside for hours in this weather? This is criminal," she muttered. Walter hung his head, ashamed he hadn't noticed sooner. "We just found him. We couldn't leave him there." Dr. Carter sprang into action. Heat lamps, IV fluids, medications, gentle cleaning of neck wounds. Walter and Evelyn waited anxiously by the crate as the storm raged outside, praying silently. Finally, a small smile broke on the vet's face. "He's stabilizing. With overnight care, he'll make it." Relief flooded Walter like warmth after cold. "We'll bring him home after." He belongs with us now. They named him Max. An elderly man braves the storm to rescue a freezing puppy, risking everything for a stranger in need. Over the following weeks, Max's recovery was nothing short of miraculous. At first, he was fragile, hesitant to move, scarred physically and emotionally. But Walter's patient hands and Evelyn's soft voice nursed him back. Warm milk, gentle cuddles, quiet encouragement. Day by day, strength returned. The deep bond formed quickly. Max followed them everywhere, tail wagging weakly at first, then with growing joy. For Walter, Max brought purpose he thought was lost forever. Morning walks through fresh snow, playful chases in the yard, basic training sessions. They filled his days with laughter and light he hadn't known in years. Evelyn watched in wonder as her husband transformed, eyes bright again. One crisp morning, as fat flakes fell, a uniformed visitor arrived, Officer Mark Simmons, local K-9 handler. He'd heard about the rescue. Kneeling to scratch Max's ears, now playful and curious, he grinned. This little fighter has the heart of a service dog. Ever thought about training him properly? Walter laughed. Me? I'm too old. But Evelyn squeezed his hand. We've already saved him once. Why not help him save others? Simmons nodded seriously. His survival proves unbreakable spirit. With patience, he could become a therapy dog, comforting kids, hospital patients, even assisting rescues. Something ignited in Walter. Pride, hope. Max wasn't just a pet. He was a survivor with a calling. As Christmas approached, their home overflowed with warmth. Max, healthy and energetic, sported a tiny red scarf bounding under twinkling lights. Neighbors stopped by, drawn to the happy trio. How did you find him? They'd ask. Walter would smile softly. Sometimes, the smallest cries are the ones that need hearing most. But this heartwarming rescue was only the beginning. Training started slow and gentle. Max had boundless energy but lingering fears, flinching at loud noises or sudden moves, shadows of his trauma. Walter never pushed. He'd kneel, whisper encouragement, offer treats. Trust rebuilt one command at a time. Evelyn joined, her calm voice perfect for teaching responses. The three became a true family. Max a beacon of unexpected joy in their later years. Months flew by. Max mastered basics astonishingly fast. Simmons visited often, amazed. He's not just obedient, he has empathy, the kind that saves lives. Then came the storm that tested everything. A historic blizzard slammed Willowbrook, roads impassable, visibility zero, emergency crews overwhelmed. While most stayed indoors, across town, young boy, Tommy wandered from his mother during a short walk and vanished into deep drifts near the frozen creek. That evening, during Max's walk with Walter, something changed. Max froze, ears perked, nose twitching. Then he barked urgently, insistent, pulling hard toward distant cries. Easy, boy, Walter said, struggling in the wind. But Max refused to relent, barking louder, tugging desperately. Evelyn stepped out, sensing urgency. Following Max's lead through blinding snow, they pushed forward and found Tommy, half-buried, barely conscious, lips blue from cold. Walter scooped the boy, wrapping him in his coat. Max nuzzled close, whining protectively, licking Tommy's face. Evelyn dialed 911. Thanks to Max, rescuers arrived in minutes. Tommy survived, no lasting damage. The next day, Willowbrook exploded with the news. The once-abandoned puppy had become a hero. Against all odds, tiny Max leads the rescue, proving heroes come in small packages. This launched Max's true destiny. Simmons fast-tracked him into official K-9 therapy and service programs. Despite his rough past, Max thrived, detecting distress, comforting hospital patients, aiding the elderly, even joining searches. Walter and Evelyn beamed at training sessions, watching Max bring smiles to scared children and peace to the suffering. Yet every night Max returned home, curling by the fireplace with his saviors. That Christmas was unforgettable. Pine scents, cookie baking, lights reflecting in Max's eyes as he played. Walter hung a special ornament. For our hero, he said softly. Evelyn hugged him, tears flowing. He gave us life again. In the years that followed, Max became Willowbrook's legend, helping countless, from fearful kids to storm victims. But he always came back to Walter and Evelyn, the ones who heard his cry first. One quiet, snowy evening, Walter sat with Max's head on his lap. Never thought I'd feel this alive again, he murmured. Max thumped his tail. Saving you saved us too. Evelyn smiled through tears. We were all lost. Until we found each other. In a small Maine town under endless snow and holiday glow, a discarded puppy's story became timeless of unbreakable resilience, boundless love, and how compassion in the darkest cold can ignite the greatest light. Max proved that even the smallest, most broken soul can become the biggest hero, and no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. If this heartwarming rescue touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to spread hope and love. And tell us in the comments, have you ever witnessed or been part of a rescue that changed everything? We'd love to hear your story.